New information at 10 tonight on a months-long News 4 Tucson investigation. Now remember Lucy's Hope, the local animal rescue that focuses on rehabilitating troubled dogs. Well, in August, we showed you concerns raised over attempts to adopt out a dog that had severely bitten an elderly woman.
Now we're hearing from a family that fostered that dog for weeks, raising even more questions about why the dog was even up for adoption. Our chief investigative reporter, Corey Nylander, has the latest on this.
This is a sanctuary set up by Lucy's Hope out near Marana. It's where dogs can come to be rehabilitated to eventually be put into homes or could potentially spend the rest of their days away from the public. It's a business model with good intentions, but there are risks, and in at least one case may end up before a judge.
At this point, I wouldn't consider him adoptable.
It's a change in direction for the future of this small poodle, Romeo, who ended up at Lucy's Hope, an animal rescue that focuses on rehabilitating troubled dogs, after he almost bit off the fingertip of his former owner's elderly mother.
It was a surprise to everyone that the dog went so far with that attack.
Ella Nessius knows the family and used to volunteer at Lucy's Hope. She raised concerns online and to the News 4 Tucson investigators in August after seeing this Facebook post from Lucy's Hope trying to adopt out Romeo without mentioning his violent past. The post said in part, "I'm ready to shower you with all the love and affection in the world. However, I'm a bit sensitive to touch, so don't require too many pets." In August, Ben Garagazlo, owner of Lucy's Hope, told the News 4 Tucson investigators Romeo has made significant progress working with their trainers and was fit to be rehomed.
He seems to be doing well, and there hasn't been any issues with him.
But he didn't mention that Romeo had repeated issues with foster homes he was placed in.
When I spoke to you before, though, why did you not clarify that? Because you were telling me he had no issues.
Well, he had no issues with us. We've never had any issues with him while he's been in our direct care. But I know that he had issues when he was in the other homes, which is why he was back with us.
There were times he would cuddle with you, and then there were times he'd sit on your lap and you put your arm around him and he'd turn to bite you.
Thomas and Maureen Stark fostered Romeo for 3 weeks back in March, but decided to return him to Lucy's Hope after Maureen got bit.
So he's on my lap, and all of a sudden he just turns and he latches on to my hand.
They still tried to make it work, but Romeo continued trying to bite them. They wrote this report back to Lucy's Hope with the good and the bad. They say he was housebroken and many times behaved well, but raised concerns about him being extremely sensitive to touch and petting at times, saying sometimes he is perfectly fine, other times just placing your hand next to him elicits a snarl or growl. They also said, quote, "We just fear the what-ifs being around other people and dogs." During our interview, their tone became more concerned.
In fact, the last words I said to the young lady who picked him up was, "Don't put him in another home."
The Starks claim they were not provided Romeo's full bite history and never knew the severity of his past until
reading your article.
Garagazlo shared this agreement signed by the Starks, which makes it clear the rescue isn't responsible for any bites that may occur. He did not share proof that the Starks were informed of the woman's fingertip nearly being bitten off.
There was a minor biting incident when we picked him up.
Yeah.
Were their words to us.
Romeo isn't the only issue Lucy's Hope is facing right now. This lawsuit was filed in Phoenix in April by a woman who says she worked at a shelter in Phoenix where Lucy's Hope was sheltering a pit bull. According to the lawsuit, she was mauled by the dog and is accusing the rescue of negligence. I asked Garagazlo about the lawsuit.
I can't comment on this because this is actually an open legal matter.
The Starks feel rehabilitating troubled dogs is a noble pursuit, but question if the risks are worth it. And even though Romeo is in the sanctuary program, that doesn't mean he could never be put up for adoption again. Garagazlo says that Romeo has been working with their professional trainers and has been showing a lot of progress. He stands by his business model and his efforts to help troubled dogs. Investigating for you, Corey Nylander, News 4 Tucson.